Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at a 15 pit that I had timed on the second week of Season 1 of Midnight. What I'm hoping to go over today is just looking at general ways where I can improve my play, places where I can get out more damage, taking a closer look at some of the mechanics just for my own learning, and going over any sort of tips that I may have as a Resto Druid with how to mitigate things or how I deal with the dungeon in general. So let's go ahead and get into the key. So I was the key holder for this, which was kind of nice because I was able to build my own group. Going into this key, the things that I want to make sure that I have is a second Curse Dispel, which normally is either going to be a mage or a shaman for your lust, and then any sort of freedom ability is helpful but not sort of necessary. In this case, we had a Ret Pally and a Prot Pally as a tank, so 2 Blessing of Freedom. So this was kind of an ideal group comp. Looking at what was going out there, so I need to decurse a little bit faster. The targeted beam there is a meldable mechanic, which I didn't think about doing that until I was almost dead because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it could be melded or not. So that was like kind of a live test here. Right now I'm messaging the shaman to lust, putting myself behind on healing. Turns out he didn't have it on his bar at the time, which was kind of the hang up there, which is unfortunate. Getting a lot of help with the decurses and the healing debuff here, which is awesome. So I didn't do very much damage at all during this first pull, but that was kind of on purpose. I'm a little hesitant to try and deal damage when we're doing the lust pull, just because I don't want the DPS to like die in that window. Like at the time, I kind of realized we hadn't used lust, but it's just sort of my my playstyle. Normally, when I do the dungeons, I kind of get into a habit of running things the same way, just kind of making it very mechanical. Get the decurse out. Cool. I don't have anything to help the pally quite yet. Another 20 seconds. When I play with paladin tanks, I try to be very mindful of their cooldowns as well as when I have Iron Bark. Normally what I like to do is I like to send the Iron Bark after whatever their cooldown is. The tank has right now, I just know it's like a guy that's orange looking. So I'll send my Bark after that runs out. And it tends to work out pretty well. Sometimes they overlap it where they use that one defensive into a bubble. Cool, decurse. I've commented about this in prior videos, but I think I need to just get into the habit of pushing my Heart of the Wild Feral Frenzy button a lot more. Okay. Get targeted by the Gargoyle, which is awesome because you can just shapeshift right out of it. Cool, next pack down. Oh, looks like we lusted there. Alright, let's see what we get in this pack. Cool, so it looks like we have a Gargoyle, no Leapers, so not too much going on other than lots of puddles. Good, I hit my damage button, so that's a plus. I need a Swift Mend. Good. Okay, I have Iron Bark for the tank. So let me see if I'm going to send it after this, or if he's just going to rotate his cooldowns. I don't think I do send it, but we'll see. Yep. Okay, so that was a little bit of a bad play. I wish I had Omni CD available right there to prevent that overlap. So I should be sending my Bark now. I didn't know he had a button he was going to press, but kind of is what it is. I think we lived the pull anyway. I hadn't seen Bubble come out from him yet, so I knew that he had that. But whenever I do overlap 2 defensive like that, I tend to spend a little bit of extra time giving him like preventative regrowths, just kind of ward away whatever damage may be coming. Oh, do I go get the man? Yeah, I get the man. I didn't know this at the time, but apparently I can't talk to them unless they have the little chat bubble icon over them, so that's good to know. I'm a big fan of Swift Mend into Rejuve at the start of the pull to help out the tanks. The Apex talent gives them a good burst of healing, and it also sends out 3 Rejuves to the group to help get your hot coverage rolling. Okay, Ironbark's back up. I should be looking... Okay, cool. So we have him using... He's got 2 defensives going right now. So I'm probably gonna send it as that wears off. Yeah, so he'll do a little bit of an overlap, which is okay. It wasn't too egregious. Cool. Just pointing out again, I could have sent Heart of the Wild a while ago. Alright, cool. So we're going into the next pull. Let's see, do I incap that? No, I just hit him with a bleed. We got the gargoyles coming. This is a pull where we have the leaping geists. Those are great to just drop your vortex on and then stand at range. When they do leap and cause splash damage. So if you can prevent them from doing that, it's pretty useful. There's no reason why I shouldn't be in there doing some bleeds. Looks like the defensive for the tank was running out, so I sent the Ironbark. That was perfect. Good overlap. I never played with this tank before, but I felt like I had pretty good synergy with his defensive usage. Cool, get the decurse, great, probably send. Great, we're looking good. When there's only light damage going out on the group, I really like to send my Soul of the Forest with a rejuve rather than a regrowth, just because you get so much group healing out of your Apex talent that you get a lot more value with the rejuve too, because it'll keep up your abundant stacks, it'll help you with your mana management overall. So that pack is done. I think we're going into another pack where it's like an ambush with leapers or whatever. So let's see, yep. Get these guys, do my Swift Mend, get my hot coverage. I'm looking for a place to get some bleeds out. Well, let's get out of that. Great, decurse, refresh my life bloom. It's only been 2 weeks into the season, but in doing these VOD reviews, I can tell that my life bloom uptime is greatly improved compared to the week 1 videos that I did on with like the 10s and 12s. Alright, rooted, shift out of that. Cool, reapply all my hots, decurse, great. Again, just pointing out for repetitive sake for my own brain that Heart of the Wild has been off cooldown, so I need to just hit the button. Although this close to a boss encounter may be worth saving. I do have my combat pot, and that provides a good chunk of damage. Cool. Alright, we're chilling. We're getting this pack up here for funnel. So it looks like I'm innervating there. I'm probably doing that just so I can, one, get it on cooldown, and not have to worry about mana when I'm pre-ramping on the group. I think that is, you know, I'll have to watch it back. I think I pushed that button maybe twice. I know I push it here, and then I know I push it at the, right before the last boss. That may be a talent that I free up and move elsewhere into my tree. I might put it into a second point in forest walking or something like that. So that's actually a good thing to think about. Going into this Glacial Overload, I like to switch into cat form to get hots out during the, or sorry, get my dots out during the Cryo Stomp for two reasons. One, it's, you know, kind of an okay place to add some DPS. You should have good coverage on your group in terms of healing from having to do the sort of pulsing phase. And two, if you happen to be one of the 4 people that get the magic debuffs, it's one less dispel you have to do, because you can dispel the other person out of cat form and the act of shifting will remove it from you. So it's a free global pretty much. Yep, so let's get into cat form, reapply my dots. See, I get it there, and then the warrior has it there, so perfect. I wasn't quite sure where he wanted me to put it, so I ran it over there. I don't know if that was a good play or not. I probably should have put it closer to the other puddles now that I'm thinking about it. That would have made it a lot more. That would have made it a lot better, I should say. That was a bad Iron Bark on the tank. He didn't need that. Do I have Convoke? Yeah, Convoke to catch up. Not bad. No Life Bloom out, though. Perfect. I was listening to myself. Ooh, Feral Frenzy's back off cooldown, so that should have been something I should hit. Maybe I'll do it on the next phase. He's almost dead, though, so I might want to save it for Ick and Crick. We'll see. I need to get better at figuring out times to DPS on Ick and Crick, so that's something I'll be looking for during this VOD review. Cool. That's another good example. I was in cat form, the debuffs went out, and I can send my Dispel on the warrior and get a 2-for-1. I think I try and talk to this guy. Yeah, doesn't work out. Cool. When we pulled this pack, I forgot that the Dread Pulse Lich does the AoE, so I'm a little bit caught out, but not terribly. Cool. Damage is okay coming from that guy. It's not too bad. Do I Nature Swiftness? Yeah, good. He was gonna die. Again, this would have been really nice to have MRT, or not MRT, Omni CD available, because if the Paladins had Freedom available, that would be a good thing to mention to them if they're not using. That cold debuff should be freedomable. It is shiftable for you as well. And for anyone that plays Monk too, I think it's Chi-Ji and Tiger's lustable. Cool. Again, Swiftmend onto the tank. I'm surprised I didn't send him Iron Bark, but I think I saw the target count was kind of going down and it didn't feel like he was going to be too vulnerable. Which ended up being the right play at the time, so that's good. Cool, so now we're going into Ick and Crick. I need to pay a little bit more attention in this review as to when all of the sort of puddles are coming out. I think that's sort of my biggest hang up. I purposefully don't go into cat form very often here because I'm worried about, one, eating a swirly, and two, putting puddles all over the place. Okay, let's get some of the curses off. I should move myself, if I'm going to play passive like this, I should move myself more off to the side. So I guess I'm thinking about two different strategies. One is like, how do I become more active, and then two, if I'm going to play passive, how do I mitigate the amount of puddles I'm dropping? So if I was closer to the edge of the arena, that might have been a better play. And then probably, since we have a 2 melee in the group, not being next to the purple crystals. Cool. Cool. So now what I probably do is I probably go into cat. Yeah, I did a bleed out. I tried, since it's a 2-target fight, I try to get a full rip onto one and then swap, use the Feral Frenzy, and then have that apply a rip. Probably Convoke here, I bet. Yeah. If you get the beam, that is a meldable mechanic, but it just kind of goes on other people, so something to be mindful of. Yeah, I normally don't use Moonfire very often, but during the fight I was wondering about ways I could contribute at least some DPS from range, so that's why you see me doing that. Okay, not too much going on otherwise. We still have a lot more space than I thought we did. I wasn't really looking around at the arena, but we have a ton of space over to the left if we need. I don't know if the puddles despawn or not. This looks like it might be a trank. Nope. That was a good nature swiftness, Swiftman regrowth. And cool, looks like the boss is dead. Yeah, that's a tough one. I really should be in melee a bit more. I'm gonna have to do that a few more times before I get really comfortable doing that. I don't know that it would preclude me from doing a 16. Like, I feel confident that we'd be able to do the 16, like, with or without my damage. But, you know, just trying to see how to get better at everything. Cool. Going in, decursing. Looks like we have some leapers, so this could be a good spot to use my Vortex. Good defensive, should dispel the pally, good. Probably need to send Iron Bark on the tank. Cool. Overlapping, but that's fine. I didn't know what he had up. Like I said earlier, I like to send my Iron Bark afterwards, but I was getting a little bit scared for him. Cool. Ooh. Okay. Only 2 guys up, so I tried to vortex him. Looks like he's not vortexable, which is fine. Good kiting by the shaman. Tank gets back up, and he's able to get his aggro back. Yep. Cool. 1 death. I don't know that that was preventable. If I knew that he was sending his mitigation cooldown, I could have saved Iron Bark, and maybe that would have saved him, but rewatching the VOD, I don't know that I could have done anything about that. So I don't think I want to chalk that death up to me, or having that death be something I could have prevented. Cool. I knew I needed to drink, and I knew that there was not a lot of spots to be able to do that coming up, so I kind of try to move myself, get full hots on the tank, and then move up a little bit just so I could drink while everyone's catching up to me. Cool, another pack with Leapers. This should be a good Vortex spot. Let's see if I do it. I may or may not. Probably should. Okay, I didn't, so that's going to be a good play going forward. Putting the Vortex down for the Leapers was something I learned back when we were at the Theater of Pain. I forget which season that was, but it had a ton of spots where you could do that tech. Alright, now we're going into the Gauntlet. Again, more Leapers. Let's see what I do. Again, being able to control them because their leaps do AoE splash damage. Yeah, it looks like I put one down and run out. I don't know if they behave by targeting the furthest person from the group, but that's normally how it works. It looks like my Vortex was too late, so I didn't really get to prevent anything, but it was still a good thought. Okay, here comes the Cryo Blast, or Cryo Burst. Use my Roar. It's a decent use of Roar, I think. I like to stand at the back edge of the ice when I can. Let's see. Cool. It doesn't look like the tank gets hit too hard in this part of the encounter, so I think this might actually be a good spot for you to switch your Life Bloom from the tank to yourself so that you can get a bit more group healing out of it. I'm standing a bit too far back. I have some time on my bleeds, so I don't really need to worry about that. Cool. Watching my play right here, I purposefully hold on to my Swift Mend until the burst goes off, so that way I can move while using a Rejuve for the splash healing from my Apex talent. So I'm using that to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So far for this week, the major changes that I've made to my spec was I dropped Nature's Bounty, which is the Regrowth Cleave spec talent, and I picked up Nurturing Dormancy, which is the one that allows your Rejuves to gain duration if they take on a full health target. That feels a lot more comfortable, but I think what I may trial going into higher keys is going to be using 2 points in Thriving Vegetation to help make my regrowth hot last longer on targets. One of the things that I've found is if your regrowth hot isn't lasting long enough, you lose out on the improved regrowth talent benefit where you have like the extra crit chance. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out on my own. I may test that and report back another week. So going into this fight, he has his infusion thing that he does, which puts out a ton of damage on the group. So if you noticed, I did innervate. I did innervate and pre-ramp the boss damage. I sent my Convoke anyway, which is kind of unfortunate, but doing whatever I can to help mitigate that ahead of time. So when these debuffs come out, one of the things that I like to do is just pick one person and make them my Swiftman, or not my Swiftman, my Life Bloom target rather. I do play Harmonious Blooming, so they get the 3 stacks of mastery, so they get a lot more value out of my my ticking hots than the other person does. So it'll be Life Bloom one target, actively regrowth the other target, and then if you get a Swift Mend in that period, just let your Apex talent take care of the healing on the Life Bloom person. Seems to work out pretty well in keys so far, at least at a like a 15 level. Yeah, I changed my mind as to where I want to go, but again, I'm the Life Bloom target, goes on to the Pally, so I can actively regrowth the Pally if I need to. He's not taking a lot of damage. I don't know if he's getting Word of Glory by the tank or doing something for himself. Cool, Hots go out. Here comes the next Rhyme Blast, so I probably Life Bloom the Shaman. Yep. Get a regrowth and another set of Hots on the Warrior, and we're chilling. See, I've got my Apex talent that's gonna come out, and it just keeps that Shaman feeling super healthy. Army of the Dead, Life Bloom goes back to the tank. We're standing next to the caster. Okay, my Heart of the Wild ability is gonna be coming off cooldown in a second. Let's see if I send it. I hope I do. Bone Infusion is coming up. Yeah, it looks like I sent it here. I should have been pre-ramping, but I'm gonna be able to do a Swiftman and do a Rejuve, get a bunch of Hots out, and then go from there. I have Convoke if I need it, but I shouldn't. Yeah, totally fine. Awesome, that's the key. I think we got a couple of good things out of that. I still don't know how I want to deal with Ick and Crick and min-maxing it, but you know, that kind of is what it is. Maybe I'll give it another walkthrough and see. But yeah, that was a good review for me. I learned some stuff out of that, and I hope you did too. If you like the content, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and then I'll see you on the next one. I'll have some more of these coming out as I do my 16s, but thanks.